I am Mohit from Red FM, and today I have with me Sachi Behel. This young lady is actually the person behind Conscious Effort. She's the founder of Sara, India's first platform for sustainable luxury, fashion, and living.
Thank you so much.
So, Sachi, my first question to you is sustainable fashion about recycling? Is it about like less is more? Or is it about supporting local craftsmanship? What really is sustainable fashion?
So, in one line, I would say sustainability is about practices that are socially equitable and environmentally bearable. But if we really break it down to the crux of things, I think it's simple empathy. It's the way we operate, it's the way we think, it's the way we eat, and it's really about inclusivity and including everybody else around our ecosystem when we make our decisions. So I wouldn't say it's just one part. It's not only craft. It's not only a technology. It is not only recycling. If your entire ethos and philosophy is not going to, what they say, close the loop, it doesn't make sense. So it can't be in piecemeal. For me personally, sustainability, conscious living is really a philosophy. It's a way of living. It's a way of life. It doesn't mean that I'm only going to wear something that's recycled, or I'm only going to buy something which is with a sustainability tag. Sometimes it even extends to not buying because I don't need it, and really rethinking the way we look at impact. And that's precisely also why I started this forum. And as you know, this is one of the few and perhaps the only forum which is a retail cum advocacy portal where we don't only encourage you to recycle, but we actually encourage you to rethink circularity and rethink what it means for each person individually.
I think sustainability being about empathy, I think it's a very beautiful thought. In recent years, we have heard a lot about the environmental problems caused by the fast fashion, right? So what exactly is the problem with fast fashion?
I don't think it's a fast fashion versus a slow fashion debate. To be quite honest with you, even fast fashion brands today are taking responsibility. They are rethinking their water consumption, where they are producing, how they are producing. So I wouldn't want to pull this down into a slow fashion versus fast fashion movement. I think there are issues across the board, whether we look at fabric dyeing, whether we look at the value chains of where manufacturing takes place and in what kind of conditions. That can happen even in a small company as much as a big company. So the issues can pertain is not limited to the size of a company, but to the style of production and the ethos with which they are producing. Overconsumption is a big problem again. It's not only how much the makers are making, but there is also a demand for that. So I would actually also pivot here and say it's also overconsumption that's a problem as much as overproduction is. So it's not really a fast fashion versus slow fashion debate in my view. It's a much larger debate.
So it's like more about, say, the ideological difference in the way that you think that's what you're trying to bring through Conscious Effort.
Absolutely.
Now, especially post-COVID, the conversations around sustainability have gained intensity. So have the pandemic years really changed the way an Indian consumer thinks about sustainability? Like, have the conversations really moved forward? It's the 5th year of Conscious Effort, right? Or after the markets have reopened, like it's back to square one?
The pandemic has been such an interesting phase that people have had a chance to rethink. Yes, sustainability is a new conversation at a nascent stage in India. When we started 5 years, 6 years ago, people didn't know what we meant by it. A reason why we started an advocacy portal was so that people could come and engage with the subject, so that they could understand what does a better made product mean. And now slowly what the pandemic has done is people have realized there's no chronic pain. This is where we need to live, and we need to live very here, we need to treat it well. So the pandemic has really shifted perceptions. Having that, I would also say that while the conversation is recent in India, developing countries like India are cannot afford to be unsustainable. So it's filtering down from the West, and these conversations are very, very important, and I hope we can make more impact.
You have been like championing this cause, right, from the last 5 years, and you've started that at such a young age, right? I'm sure it comes from a really a deeper personal space. What really makes you so passionate about these causes?
I'm going to be 30 this year. I've been running an independent business for 7 years now, so it's been quite a while. So thank you. I think my upbringing was really to think about impact. My grandfather belonged to the Air Force. My father is a journalist. Service is really in our blood. My mother is a Sikh. We believe in seva. Any kind of passion to drive impact, to think about a world beyond us and how we can make it a better world beyond us was an ethos and a philosophy that I really grew up with. So when I came back from university, I studied history at SOAS, and I'm not from the fashion world. I studied history. History gives you an insight into so many different worlds, into so many different perspectives, and it's such a huge driving force to understand and create. That when I came back, I was very clear that if I start something, and when I was starting this platform, I wanted to make sure that any kind of impact becomes the core driving philosophy of what we do. So it's never profit, it has to involve people, planet, and profit. And I do sincerely believe whether you're in fashion, you're in infrastructure, you're in any business whatsoever, impact and sustainability can be core driving philosophies for you. This is not CSR. This is exactly how we operate. This is our core philosophy.
That is really inspiring, I must say. We as a country, if you see that we have always been into recycling or reusing stuff, right? Nothing, I remember in my childhood home, was really discarded, right? Everything always found a new usage, right? So do you think, because we come from that place, it is easier to have conversations around sustainability in a country like India?
Oh yes, of course, absolutely. I think it's very much part of the daily life of people. You probably will have your mother who's passed down clothes, to people in the family. We inherit things from our parents, we take it forward. So recycling, upcycling, is very much part of the Indian tradition. I don't see that as anomalistic. So absolutely, it's very much around.
All of us really want to take a step towards sustainability, but I'm sure like a lot of us don't know really where to begin. So what are the easy ways in which one can take a step towards like sustainable fashion?
I always say this in one line. I say, do the best you can, and when you do better, do better. And whether it is something as small as telling yourself that you are going to shop 50% less this year, whether it is going to, second-hand clothing space to buy yourself vintage outfits or second-hand pre-loved pieces, whether it's reducing your meat consumption. There are small steps that each one of us can take, and it's very individual for people to take those steps. But once they do, I want to say that you do the best you can. It is not a competition. It is not 10 boxes to tick mark and say that I will do these 10 things and I will be more sustainable than you are. These are not tick boxes to tick. This is very much a way of life. And I would just sum it up again by saying do the best you can and do better.
I would leave all of you with this thought that anybody who's been watching us, I think be proud of every little step that you're taking towards sustainability, and we'll see the world changing. I think, Sachi, it was really an inspiring conversation. I had a great time chatting up with you. Thanks so much.
Pleasure was all mine. Thank you for having me, Mohit.
For more lovely conversations around sustainable fashion and conscious effort, tune in to Red FM